Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. Today we are here for a versus video and I'm putting these two pens one against the other. So the idea of this video is to compare two modern Japanese pens with a very similar design. So let's check the characteristics. I'm not going to tell which is better or which is not. This is not the purpose of this video. This is just to give you the side-by-side characteristics of each pen and then let you decide what you think about it. So, the pens that are against each other today is the Platinum 3776 Century and the Sailor 1911 Large. And as you may see, they are two pens of a very similar shape and size, and they come from the same country. So let's take a look and analyze these two pens. This pen is from my own collection. This one was sent by Appleboom for review. So the first thing that we have to compare about these two pens is the color, and the color of both is black. However, this one is a solid black and this one is a translucent black. The Sailor has gold trim and the Platinum has silver trim. However, you can find the variations on these, so you can get both with gold trim or both with silver color trim. You have this option and many other options of colors to find the pens. So these are available, both are available in several colors, finishes and maybe some materials. The size of the pens, I've been measuring them just to give you a more accurate idea. I don't usually do that on the reviews, but here on the versus videos I think it makes some sense. The size of the Platinum 3776 Century is 139 millimeters against the 141 millimeters of the Sailor pen. So when kept, the Sailor is 2 millimeters longer. Then we go to the maximum diameter of the pens, just below the cap, and both have 13 millimeters, so the same size. About the weight of the two pens, the Sailor seems to be more heavy and this one seems to be much lighter. However, when we go to the scale and weigh them, I found that the Platinum weighs 21 grams and this one 25 grams, so just 4 grams apart from each other, so not a big deal. Now let's talk about the filling system. Both pens are cartridge or converter pens, so they will have to be fitted with the cartridge or converter. Both have proprietary systems. This one only takes Platinum cartridges or converters and this one only takes Sailor cartridges or converters. Now, about the ink capacity that you can get in these pens, and I did not measure this because this one has I can show it to you. This one has now a cartridge, a converter inside, but the Platinum has a cartridge inside. I don't have converters for both pens, just one cartridge and one converter. But I did not measure that, but I searched online and I found out that the ink capacity of a cartridge in Platinum is of 1.1 milliliters and in Sailor 1.2 milliliters. So just 0.1 milliliter difference, it's not relevant. And I found the same about the converters. The platinum converter will take 0.6 milliliters and the Sailor converter will take 0.7 milliliters. So very comparable in that way. About the materials of the pen, this is available in resin and also a variation in celluloid. This one is available in resin also, only as far as I know. Now let's go for the interesting parts. Let's see the nib. The nib material on this platinum is, as you may see, 14 karat gold. The nib material of the Sailor 1911 large is 21 karat gold. These are 14 gold karat nibs. The Sailor, when we are talking about the standard, the 1911 standard size, it takes 14 karat gold nib. When we are talking about this large size, it takes the 21 karat gold nib. The nib grade on both pens. This pen has a soft fine nib, which means it is made to have a little flex, a little bounce to it when you're writing. And this one has a this one has a hard, oops, I lost the focus there. It has a hard medium nib. So they are not intended to do the same thing, but there are variations of these pens. You can also find a medium soft, and okay, you can have similar versions. I don't have, so it would be quite difficult to have exactly the same thing, but I hope this will give you an idea of what you can expect. About the price, the platinum costs 175 euros and the Sailor costs 300 euros. So the Sailor is much more expensive, almost the double, for a pen that has the same overall characteristics, as I told you. About the writing experience, can we write with this pen and post it? Yes, for sure, it is long enough. And post it? Yes, you can. When we're talking about the Sailor, the same thing, you can write with it and post it, and if you want, it posts securely, and you can also write with it, post it. So, this is the direct comparison of the features of the pen, or the main features. Now, let me just look at some design details. Some things that I find interesting in both pens. First thing, the shape of the clip. The shape is, even if it is an overall similar shape, you can see that the Sailor shape, the Sailor clip, is wider here. So it almost reminds us a little bit of the Pelican, the top of the Pelican clips. And then it goes straight to the end, and it has these micro steps going up. So it has a nice yet simple design. The Sailor, the platinum pen, has also one little, not really a step, just a groove, but it has more a blade shaped clip in a more simple shape. Another characteristic that I think it is interesting to compare both pens is the dome. It has that little dome on the top, and on the platinum pen, that dome is more rounded, and this one is more elongated, and you find the same here on the end. The Sailor is more elongated and the platinum is more rounded. Next thing I want to check is the rings. We have the same number of rings in both pens. We have a ring that is over the clip, then a wider ring, it's almost like a band on the end of both caps, and then a finer ring up on top of that, and you have also rings on the bottom of the pens. There are variations of the Sailor pen without these rings. And then when you open the pens, you will see rings also on the end of the section. So the pens are really comparable. Another thing that I want to talk to you, the platinum pens, and I think you can see a little spring there inside. Platinum pens are known for having a very good seal, and when you cap the pens, they stay, the nib stays wet for a long time. It does not dry because it has a very good seal. I find that the same happens on the Sailor pen, although it doesn't have that special, as far as I know, that special capping mechanism with the inner cap spring-loaded. Another thing that I wanted to mention when I talked about the rings is that the Sailor rings are just a little bit wider than the platinum rings. Now let's go for a couple of final stuff, and that stuff we'll see it when the pens are uncapped. Both sections have the same kind of shape, straight. They taper down, but they are straight, and then they have this kind of a little raised lip. The shape of the nibs is quite different. I find that the platinum has wider shoulders there, and the Sailor seems to have thinner and apparently longer tines than the platinum nib. The platinum nib, in my opinion, has a more modern look to it, although it has a heart-shaped breather hole that always looks to me a little more vintage. But it has a very simple decoration, while the Sailor nib has a rounded hole, but it has it's very ornate everywhere, with the logo, the anchor, the number, 1911. This is the year of the foundation of the Sailor brand. This one is 3776, which is the height of the Mount Fuji. These are the plastic feeds of both pens. So interesting pens, different in terms of nibs. When we look at the end of the barrel, we can see two things. First, the threads, let me align like this, the threads on the platinum are longer. However, both take around 1 turn and a half to uncap, so it makes no difference on the capping and capping process, but these threads are longer. And when we look at the end, as I was telling you, not the end, just before the threads, this barrel has quite a step down. It's not very big, but it has a step, and it is a little bit sharp if you hold the pen there, but the Sailor does not. It has a step, but it's more like a visual step than a real step in size, and you can find you almost will not notice. It's like another thread of this threaded part. Again, for the writing experience with both these pens, the Sailor has in the widest part of the section, right there, it has 1.1 millimeters, 11 millimeters, and the platinum has 10 millimeters, so only 1 millimeter difference. They are very, very similar pens. So this is all I had to show you on the outside of the pens. Let's just see the pens on paper and we'll close this video. And we have two pens here. Let's see how it behaves on paper. So let's start with the Platinum, and the Platinum 3776 Century. This pen writes well with a good ink flow for a fine nib. However, it does have lots of feedback. And this is not something that I'm saying bad about this, because this one also has the same amount of feedback, but they sound different. They feel different. This pen, as you may see, it has this soft nib, and if you try to press it a little bit harder, you can really have some line variation. Sorry, I did this out of camera. You see, if you press it too much, sometimes you will touch, it happened there, I think you can see, you touch with the tip of the feed on the paper and it will make like that ghost line there. So this is really a fine nib that has some softness, because it is a soft fine, and you can have some line variation. And now for the Sailor 1911. Sailor 1911 large, you can write with it well. I think it has a medium line. We can see it is broader than the line of the Platinum. It writes really well, but it also has that kind of feedback. Not scratchy. None of them are scratchy, but both have lots of feedback. About line variation, this is a hard nib, so you will not easily have line variation, but you can force it a little bit. Now let's just compare a little detail. Let's just do this side by side. This is the fine line of the Platinum with no pressure. And this is the line with pressure. What you'll feel in the soft fine nib is that you can apply some pressure, you can have line variation, but you don't have to apply lots of pressure, because there is a natural give to the nib. This is a 14K nib. This is a 21K nib of the Sailor with medium line, and you can see the line is broader. And when you press it, interestingly, you can have the same kind of line width. Although this is a hard nib, I think it happens because this one has more gold content and maybe it is softer. I'm not sure if that is a reason. But, however, the line width on the downstrokes is the same. I would say that the Platinum has more line variation because it starts on a finer line and goes to a broader line, and this one starts on a medium line and then goes to that broader line. So it is quite interesting in terms of line variation. You can have on both, but in this one you don't feel that you are pushing the pen to do that, and when you're using the Sailor you really feel that you may be pushing a little bit too hard. So I would not do it because this pen is a hard nib. If you want, get a soft fine nib. So overall, about these two pens, what is the how should you choose which pen to get? Of course, it is always a matter of personal preference. They have some different details, but they are overall the same kind of pen. I would say there are three bigger or three most important characteristics that may lead you to choose one or the other. One characteristic, at least in my opinion, that may make that difference is the design of the nib. The designs are different and you may like a more simple and modern one or a more classic one. So this is something that you may need to choose. The other thing that you may want to have as a characteristic to choose which pen you should get is the price. And I think this will be the main reason. This one costs almost the double of the platinum, so it's not inexpensive. You can buy, with the price of this, you can buy that pen and lots of ink and paper to write with. So you may have to have that factor in account when you buy them. And finally, and I think this is not the most important, but the most natural one for many people, is I think that the performance of both pens are so characteristic in terms of their nibs that I think if you start your fountain pen experience by using Sailor pens, you'll find the feedback of the Sailor of the platinum strange, and the same thing happens all the way around. So I think this is kind of a matter like you are choosing the brands of photo cameras and you thinking about that classic. Think about choosing Canon or Nikon or Rolleiflex versus Hasselblad. It's not a matter of performance, it's like you are from that kind of team. So if you're in the team Platinum, you'll choose a Platinum. If you're in the team Sailor, you'll choose Sailor. That is my opinion. However, I would say that price has a big relevance here. If you never tried any of these pens, I think the price will have a very important weight in this decision. So this is just some food for thought. I hope this helps you to decide which pen you like the most. I wanted to make this video shorter, but as usual I talked too much. You can check the individual reviews of each pen. I have the videos, you have the links below, and if you have any questions, any comments, please leave on the comment section below. And if you want any other versus video between two other pens that I have in my collection, please don't be shy and just ask for it on the comments, and I will try to make that for you. I hope you liked it. See you next video. Bye.